Jonah sat on a weathered stool by the riverbank, the iconic Tower Bridge towering above him like a silent guardian. The Thames flowed lazily, reflecting the dim hues of twilight, crafting an oasis amidst the urban bustle. Every day, Jonah found solace in this sacred space, casting his line into the murky depths. The rhythmic lapping of water against the shore and the distant calls of gulls provided a comforting backdrop to his solitary existence. A rugged face, worn by time and toil, spoke of countless battles with nature and self. Each tug on the line echoed the lessons his father had instilled in him, the patience of a fisherman and the respect owed to the water. Wrapped in nostalgia, Jonah closed his eyes, allowing the memories of their shared fishing trips to wash over him like the gentle tide. Here, beneath the bridge, he felt the weight of both past and present intertwine. As Jonah casts his line into the shimmering waters of the Thames, the gentle ripples wrecked memories of a simpler time. He can almost hear his father's laughter, mingling with the sound of the flowing river, a melody etched into the fabric of his being. Those mornings by the riverbank, where the world felt alive with possibility, linger vividly in his mind. Together they would share stories of great fish and lost treasures, teaching Jonah the art of patience and resilience. His father's weathered hands guided him, showing him how to read the currents and respect the life teeming beneath the surface. Now, alone beneath the shadow of Tower Bridge, Jonah feels the weight of their unspoken bond. With each cast, he honors that legacy, seeking not just fish, but connection, an anchor in the tides of memory, and a reminder of the love that once buoyed him through life's storms. Jonah settled into his familiar spot beneath the imposing arches of Tower Bridge, the worn wooden crate serving as his makeshift seat. The sounds of the city faded into a gentle murmur, replaced by the rhythmic lapping of water against the riverbank. With each cast of his line into the murky depths, he felt the weight of solitude wrap around him like a well-worn blanket. This was his escape, a sanctuary where time ebbed and flowed with the tides. Yet beneath the soothing cadence of the water, there lingered an unease. Jonah glanced towards the darkened depths, sensing a stir beneath the surface. He wrestled with shadows of doubt as whispers from the river seemed to beckon him closer, tantalizing hints of secrets waiting to be uncovered. His heart quickened, a tension coiling within him, urging him to listen more closely to the call of the river. Today felt different. The air was thick with possibilities he could not yet grasp. Jonah felt an unusual tug on his fishing line, one that sent a shiver down his spine. It was far stronger than any fish he'd ever caught, almost as if the river itself was alive and pulling him into its depths. Heart racing, he braced himself against the weathered wooden dock, muscles straining as he reeled in the line. The water churned and splashed around him, twisting in a dance of mystery and allure. With one final determined pull, Jonah finally brought his catch to the surface, a peculiar weathered object glistening beneath the murky water, draped in strands of algae. Cautiously, he lifted it from the depths, revealing an old iron compass, its engravings barely visible yet strangely captivating. As he wiped the grime away, the air grew still, and a rush of vivid memories flooded his mind. Visions of sailors lost to the waves, the weight of unfulfilled dreams, and a longing he had never understood until now. Jonah stared at the iron compass, its surface cool and smooth under his weathered fingers. As he wiped away the grime of the Thames, the engravings came to life, intricate designs swirling like the memories they invoked. The moment he fully revealed its beauty, a rush of vivid recollections washed over him. He was once a boy, laughing alongside his father in a small boat, their lines cast into the same waters. He could almost hear the soft chuckle of his father, the warmth of his presence grounding him even as the ghostly voices began to rise from the depths. They were whispers at first, faint, tempting echoes of sailors' dreams and lost loves. Jonah closed his eyes, his heart racing, as those voices entwined with the gentle lapping of the water against the bank, urging him to listen closely. The Thames held stories in its depths, and now it seemed one was calling directly to him. As Jonah stood by the riverside, cradling the compass in his hands, the gentle whisper of the Thames seemed to grow louder, merging with the sounds of nature. The river, a vein of history, beckoned him closer, filling the air with hushed murmurs that sent shivers down his spine. With each pulse of the water, the voices swirled around him, echoing through the years. The tales of sailors braving fierce storms, lovers separated by fate, and treasures lost to the depths. He felt as if he were sitting at the edge of a vast, unfolding narrative, each whisper a thread of stories yet untold. Longing welled within him, mingled with curiosity, as he imagined the lives intertwined with the very currents beneath his feet. In that moment, Jonah understood that the compass was not merely an object, but a key to a world beyond his own, urging him to listen to the echoes of the ancients. Jonah's obsession with the compass deepened as he submerged himself in the lore surrounding its former owner, a sailor named Samuel Blackwood, who had vanished without a trace centuries ago. The locals whispered stories of his exploits, how he had once sailed the fiercest waters, chasing storms in search of fortune. With each tale, Jonah felt a pull towards the man's enigmatic legacy. He scoured dusty archives and faded maps, uncovering clues that hinted at a hidden treasure buried beneath Tower Bridge, where the river concealed secrets of its own. The gravity of Blackwood's disappearance lingered heavily in the air, taunting Jonah with unanswered questions and a sense of unfinished business. As the whispers from the Thames grew louder, he could almost hear the echoes of Blackwood's adventures begging for recognition. It was as if the river itself was woven into the fabric of his fate, urging him to confront the legend that haunted the waters. The whispers of the river grew louder, wrapping around Jonah like the fog rolling in from the Thames. Each sound pulled him deeper into an internal struggle. He stood there, the compass warm in his palm, feeling its weight not just as an object but as a promise of adventure. The tales he heard whispered of glorious journeys across raging seas and the thrill of treasure hidden beneath the very waters that now lapped against his worn boots. Still, the shadows of his past loomed large, a reminder of the life he had built upon habits and routines, the predictability providing a sense of security. Torn between the thrill of chasing these legendary tales and the fear of leaving his safe haven, he felt a magnetic force urging him to step into the unknown. With each gentle pull from the whispers, he wrestled with the intricate dance of hopes and regrets, longing for something he couldn't yet name. Jonah's nights grew restless as the whispers wove their way into his dreams. Each slumber brought him visions of the vanished sailor, his ship bravely battling tempestuous seas. He could almost hear the thunderous roars of the storm that once threatened to swallow the vessel whole, each crashing wave echoing the sailor's spirit. Flickering lanterns illuminated the faces of the crew, their eyes glinting with both fear and determination. Jonah felt an inexplicable bond with these ghosts, as if their courage seeped through the depths of the Thames to touch his very soul. The allure of their stories beckoned him, tales of lost treasures, unfulfilled promises, and the relentless pursuit of adventure. As he stirred awake, the whispers lingered in his mind like an unfinished melody, urging him to confront not just the secrets of the river, but also the burdens of his past. The decision loomed larger, and the call of the unknown tightened its grip on his heart. Jonah stood at the water's edge, the iron compass heavy in his palm, its engravings glinting in the fading light. The whispers of the river swirled around him, awakening fears he had long buried. What if chasing the ghostly tales led only to disappointment? He remembered his father's words about the importance of patience, not just in fishing but in life. Each moment spent in quiet reflection had fortified him against the storms of his past. Yet here he was, tempted by dreams of treasure and adventure. As the evening tide lapped gently at his boots, memories of lost opportunities flooded his mind. His heart raced, torn between the familiar safety of his routine and the exhilarating unknown that beckoned. Did he dare to break free from his self-imposed anchors? He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and felt the weight of the compass urging him to choose. Change lay just beneath the surface, waiting to be embraced. Jonah stood at the water's edge, the iron compass warm in his palm, its engravings catching the last light of day. The whispers danced around him, coaxing him with promises of adventure and lost treasures. His heart raced, torn between the thrill of exploration and the weight of his father's legacy, the very essence that had shaped his solitary existence. Memories flooded back, the gentle guidance of his father's hand on his shoulder, teaching him to trust the flow of the river, to respect its depths. Every tale shared, every lesson learned, anchored him to his past, yet the allure of the unknown beckoned with equal force. Jonah inhaled deeply, feeling the salt-tinged air fill his lungs, grounding him as he wrestled with the crux of his decision. The horizon unfurled before him, teasing with possibilities, but would he grasp the unknown or remain wedded to the familiar shadows that had defined him? As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the Thames in hues of gold and orange, Jonah stood at the water's edge, the compass heavy in his hand. Its surface glinted with a promise of adventure, a tether to the forgotten tales whispered to him by the river. Yet in the depths of his heart, he felt a growing resolve. This object, once a beacon of lost dreams, now represented the weight of his past, memories that anchored him in a life of solitude and regret. With a deep breath, Jonah approached the water, deeply aware of the intricate dance of currents and echoes surrounding him. In a moment that felt both timeless and fleeting, he released the compass, watching it sink into the depths, where the whispers transformed into gentle caresses of acceptance. As ripples spread across the surface, Jonah felt a surge of relief wash over him, a decisive letting go. With the weight lifted, he turned his gaze to the future, embracing the unknown with newfound clarity and purpose. As Jonah released the compass into the Thames, a sense of tranquility washed over him. The rippling water captured the fading light, transforming the evening into a canvas of shimmering golds and silvers. The whispers that once beckoned him toward the unknown now felt like a gentle embrace, wrapping him in warmth rather than urging him toward a quest. He stood at the riverbank, breath steady, the tension of his past slowly unraveling with each wave lapping at the shore. With every cast of his line, fishing transformed from a mere escape into a meditative practice, an homage to those who had come before him. As he waited for the fish to bite, he felt a connection not only to his father, but to all the souls that had fished these waters, their stories entwined in the very fabric of the Thames. Jonah smiled, embracing the unknown that lay ahead, ready to forge new memories against the soft cadence of the river.